The notice requirements provided in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given in the new schedule of meetings of the Spotswood Borough Council on December 27, 2017. The new schedule was transmitted to the Home News Tribune and Sentinel. It was filed with the clerk of the Borough of Spotswood and posted in the municipal building located at 77 Summerhill Road, New Jersey. We'll stand for salute to the flag and a moment of silence. I'd like you to ask you to keep in your prayers two people, Joseph Kapitsky, who was a communicant of Immaculate Conception Church in Spotswood. He was a fourth-degree member of the Knights of Columbus Spotswood Assembly and served as Grand Knight for 2 terms. He was also a member of the Old Bridge Rescue Squad for 10 years as captain for 5 years. He died on January 28th. And my longtime neighbor, who was a resident of Spotswood, J.R. Minervini, who was 42 years old, please keep him in your prayers too. He passed this past week. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Stolen?
Here.
Councilman Ritchie?
Here.
Councilman Malillo?
Here.
Councilman Rivera?
Here.
Council President Rhodes?
Here.
Mayor Sealy?
Here.
At this time, we'd like to bring up the police department. There's an ordinance under consideration tonight, and to do their presentation.
Was it a presentation or we were answering questions, Council President?
I'm thinking whatever you would like to do. Questions only? Okay, so then we'll wait till the public session, or do we want to do that now?
Probably in the public hearing for the ordinance.
Okay.
Okay, we have an ordinance on second reading. This is the public hearing. The ordinance 2018-1 was posted in the municipal building on January 23rd, advertised in full in the Home News Tribune on January 28th. Public hearing was set for February 5th, 2018. Borough of Spotswood, Middlesex County, calendar year 2018, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank per NJSA 48:45.14. We have to open the public hearing.
Make a motion, we open to the public.
Second?
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
Someone should explain the ordinance.
This is ordinance 2018-1, calendar year 2018 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to, the public hearing for the,
Yes.
so this is the public hearing. Okay, sorry. Ordinance 2018-2, an ordinance to amend the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Spotswood by amending Chapter 199 Vehicles and Traffic, subsection 199-16, through streets designated Schedule 6 through streets, and Pat read this at the,
That's the second ordinance. We didn't open to the public for the first ordinance yet.
okay. So we're going to stay with the first ordinance.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Okay.
You voted, but you
We
didn't.
open to the public.
Okay.
The first ordinance.
Can I have a motion to open to the public for the first ordinance to
We
exceed?
did that already.
We did that.
We need to explain it, see
Okay.
if anyone wants to ask any questions.
Okay, so what this does is actually Dawn, do you want to explain it?
There's 2 appropriation caps. There's the tax levy cap and the appropriation cap. This ordinance pertains to the appropriation cap. By law, by statute, the borough's allowed to increase by 2.5%, and then another percent if you do this ordinance. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're increasing the budget, because it also allows us to establish a cap bank for the next 2 succeeding
absolutely.
years. So it's basically an insurance policy if you have to exceed the cap in the next 2 succeeding years.
Is there anyone who has questions?
Cheryl Bass, 289 Main Street. If this is to limit the amount of appropriations, can monies be taken from other budget areas to be put into this?
This has to do with the total appropriation cap for the entire budget for the borough, not different lines.
Okay, how do you go over the budget to see what can be reduced?
We do that in the process of the budget workshops, and then the introduction, and then there's a public hearing as well.
So this is just to have insurance in case something has to come about and that the monies needed for it are higher than what had been taken care of in the past?
Yes, and it also banks it for 2 years.
Oh, okay, okay.
Thank you, Cheryl. Any other questions?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second?
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes.
Yes.
Now we must adopt.
So the ordinance should be adopted on second and final reading and be published according to law?
Anyone
Second.
going to make a second?
Second?
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes.
Yes.
We have a second ordinance on second reading. Ordinance 2018-2 was posted in a municipal building on January 23rd and advertised in full in a Home News Tribune on January 28th. Public hearing was set for February 5th. Ordinance 2018-2, an ordinance to amend the revised general ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood by amending Chapter 199, Vehicles and Traffic, subsection 199-16 through streets designated, Schedule 6 through streets, amending subsection 199-21, no U-turns, no lefts turns, no right turns, to include one-way streets designated as subsection letter D, and amending Schedule 7 entitled Stop Intersections to include additional stop intersections, amending Chapter 199 by adding subsection 13D entitled One-Way Streets to Schedule 13 and amending Schedule 13A, no left turns, to include the exit entrance of Shonley School Teachers Parking Lot.
Make a motion, we open this to the public for discussion.
Second it.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes.
Yes.
If I can ask the chief a question, are we?
Yeah.
Chief?
Yes, sir.
When I first read the ordinance, I spoke to our business administrator, it wasn't really clear from what we had here, and it looked like we were getting a four-way stop on Adirondack, but just to, that we understand it, Kane will be one way from Mady Avenue, past the school, past the parking lot for the teachers, and it would go out to Adirondack.
That's correct.
And that's it.
That's it. The map here, that help you?
Well, we had gotten this afterwards.
All right.
So, and Adirondack is not going to have a four-way stop.
Correct.
But yet on this, there's 3 stop signs listed on here.
That's a do not enter sign.
Stop, oh, okay, well, it says stop.
Well, what we did was a 3-way stop at the intersection of Mady and Kane.
Yes.
Because traveling, there is a downslope on Mady Avenue as it approaches that intersection, the T intersection. So to calm traffic, just slow it down.
Oh, that's better.
So what it is,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
See, mine has.
Yeah, no, what happens is we have to put all the signs as congested as it gets.
Right.
It's a do not enter and a one way, and a stop sign shows all 3 that have.
Much
all that.
clearer on that map. Thank you. And may I just suggest before we advertise this, on the ordinance, the description has above stop signs, first it lists Made in Kane and Kane and Adirondack, and then in asterisks it said, above stop signs will include supplementary plate all way. So either just Kane should have the asterisk so that it's not, looks like it's Adirondack as well. And then on the second page, it says name of street, Adirondack. And then this goes to describe Kane Avenue designated as one way. Shouldn't the name of the street be Kane? Because nothing's really being done to Adirondack.
I'll look at that.
Okay. All right, just a little, it was not clear, so that's all I had. Thank you.
Any of the council want to ask the police while they're here? And then we'll have them open to the public. And any other questions? I had the same concern when Kurt pointed it out to me, that it was going to be a four-way at Adirondack. Motion?
Well, we're open already, so just ask if they have any questions.
Okay. Huh? Yeah, motion to...
It's open.
It's open, okay. So does any public have any questions about this ordinance? Just state your name and your address for the record.
Good evening, Rich O'Brien, 11 Hudson Avenue. I guess my question is this just during school hours, or is this a permanent change?
That's a good question.
Well, thank you, Chief.
Well, it is a good question, because it's an obvious question. When we try to engineer this, and let's bear in mind that, as a caveat to this whole thing, that we're at the vertical limit of engineering when it comes to showing school. We've, over the years, those buzzwords of it's a disaster, you take your life in your own hands over there, have been embellished a bit, but it isn't convenient to drop off and pick up there. It's congested, it's not efficient. So this was our last means of engineering this properly without a large financial expenditure. So to try to enforce part-time hours is impossible. So we abandoned that immediately. We have issues over at Applebee's school where it's parking for certain hours, and it's not parking for certain hours, and people are blocking a hydrant, and that's an everyday battle. So we weren't going to go down that road with this. So it had to be full-time. Has to be. And the permit wasn't going to work anyway, because if somebody violated the permit parking, the car would already there and have to be removed. The problem already exists anyway. So we chose not to go in that direction.
Could you ask the
We got a
chief?
meeting on October 24th
Step to the
with
microphone.
residents because the complaint.
We can't hear 'em.
Guys here.
Chief, the borough clerk requests that you come up for the microphone so that it can be heard.
It's all right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So we had the residents here, which at first was a push. They weren't sure how that was going to affect their real estate, the cost of their real estate. So when we had them here, we told them that you'd be able to park in a northwesterly direction, going all the same way. Traffic would flow smoothly there. We'd have the traffic calming there with the three-way at Mady and Kane, and that's what the agreement was. So bearing in mind, again, that we're at limited options there without buying property and making an exit out to Old Stage Road. So it would be full-time, indefinitely done.
And any consideration for the 10 months of the school year, and then reverting back to a two-way street in the summer months?
I mean, that's just difficult, again, for us to do. And we're starting to confuse people with sign pollution. We're putting up permanent signing, taking it down. That's what the residents, there wasn't a concern there. It actually calms that traffic in that area. So,
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Chief.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Chief.
I just reviewed the second part. Is that what you were concerned about?
Yes.
All right, the reason this is here is because this part of the ordinance change is to amend that you can't make a right turn off of Adirondack onto Kane Avenue because of the one-way and do not enter. So that's why this is there.
Shouldn't there be a listing then for Kane and then explain what's happening
Well,
to
no,
Kane?
because what it is this is just for the no right turn, so it's off of Adirondack. Up here, we have Kane Avenue for when it comes to the one-way. Here
Okay,
we have Kane
okay,
Avenue,
got it.
and maybe for the stop
Very good.
signs, it's just
Okay,
listing for
yep.
each different thing.
Makes sense that way.
So to Mr. O'Brien's point, the issue there was cars making the right on Adirondack and coming down the street, and then blocking, it bottlenecked on a corner where we had a landscaping there, who always parked his cars there, and it's his house there, and he parks in front of his house, and to tell people not to park in front of their house was another issue. So when it bottlenecks there, we can't get the buses through, can't get anybody out, so the flow in one direction, and only one direction, moves everything along, so.
Where's the 3 stop signs on the main?
Where the crossing guard is.
You have to come up to the microphone, please.
There's the Adirondack.
Okay, all right.
Donna Falconberry, 467 Adirondack Avenue. I'm a little concerned. One question is,
We have take-home maps for you, so.
thank
For the
you.
refrigerator.
There's 3 stop signs, thank you, that are going to go on Mady Kane. Where will there not be the stop sign?
Right now, there's no stop sign if you're coming eastbound down Mady Avenue, and there's a little rise at the top of Mady Avenue that comes down into the intersection, so to calm that traffic down. Now, there's going to be new signage there, do not enter, we want to slow people down. We suggested putting LEDs in there to flash it there to help the crossing guard as well. So you'll have to stop in all directions coming to the intersection of Mady and Kane.
Okay, and do you foresee an issue with, now you have all traffic coming to Adirondack, and it's still only a 2-way stop, and there's a blind curve coming up Adirondack where people, I know because I live there, people speed. Do you foresee traffic backing up down Kane towards the school at peak hours?
No, because we don't have the cars making the right and coming down Kane Avenue towards the school. So that we have one lane of traffic flowing instead of 2 trying to get down that road.
Right, but they're all coming the same way and coming out to a stop sign that,
They're going to stack with the length of that road, and it gives us more cars there. With the double crossing guard there, listen, nothing, I can't predict the future. If I did, I'd find a cure for baldness. But we're going to have to look at it. We're going to have to, evaluate it, assess it. If it needs tweaking,
Did you read that?
we will. But I think this is our only alternative. When I said the vertical limit of engineering, we are at that right now.
no, I mean, I live there, I see it every day, so
Yes,
pulling out of my parking lot, in my driveway is tough.
It's going to take supervision with the police department. We're out there every day anyway, so.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want a stop sign off a blind curve anyway, because people are going to come around that curve, and they don't know if they're going to blow through it, and somebody who has that right of way is going to get in an accident.
Right, I'm
It's
just,
easier for them to just pay more attention as they're at their stop sign and make sure no one's coming around that curve, because you can't guarantee a stop sign on a blind curve is going to stop someone.
Yeah.
So,
okay, thank you.
Excuse me. Thank you, Chief. Any other questions from the public about this change? Actually, this has been eternal. Oh, Jackie, come on up.
Jackie Palmer, 9 Chupin Street. I'm just curious, how are we communicating this out to the public?
Well, I know the chief has already had meetings with the residents on that street, but that is a good point. Chief, do you have a deployment plan for when we pass this to roll it out to the school population?
Sure, we use our social media, Nixon. We're going to be out there as a calming engineering and awareness and education every day anyway, but we can roll it out social media.
Social media, but what about directed?
I think Pat wants him to come up to the microphone again.
Whatever you want, skywriting, we could do fireworks, whatever you'd like. Roll it right out for you.
Well, I just think that there's a lot of people that go to that school, their students are in that school, and I think maybe, besides social media, which I'm sure all the younger parents are on it, but I think maybe, do we do handouts in the school district, the school population?
We have 2 options. We could try to roll it out because the signage is a heavy lift in this spring break in Easter time.
Is that, yeah.
Or we could push it till the summer, roll it out in the summer, and then a back-to-school night and do a full rollout with that. So we have 2 options. And that's weather pending in the Easter break, as we could get 70, we can get 30, we can get snow, and then we won't be able to do the painting on the roads.
Well, Easter break is Easter is April 1st, right? So we're off the week before, the week after this year? After? So April, beginning of April. it's up to you to decide, when you want to implement it, and to me, I think it's important to involve the school district.
Well, they were here for the October meeting, so they're aware.
Okay,
So when that happens and we have to roll it out, we'll push it out. And we're not going to just put signage up and not have police presence out there.
Right, right.
This is probably going to be a 2-month rollout as far as us being there every day, making sure everybody's moving along there. We're going to have a full TO of officers out there with this.
okay.
Everybody gets used to the flow.
So we pass this tonight, and then you would roll it out during either before the week of the spring break, or you would wait until the end of the school year?
Yep.
To the summer?
We have issues with weather, with painting the roadways and the
Okay.
roadway and the one-way. If we can't get it down on the roadway, we won't be able to do it. So,
Okay. So, Jackie, does that answer your concerns?
Yep, I'm
Yeah,
just curious, because
yeah.
even people who aren't in the school,
Right.
I didn't have anybody in Shonley School, but I drove it every day, which you guys know, I came here and was like, that's awful
Yeah,
over there, it's
yeah,
a
it's an
danger.
internal issue.
But, I also know people that live in that area that don't have kids in the school district, so how are they going to know?
Yeah,
Big sign with LED flashing lights, you won't be able to miss it. And you'll see police cars out there, police present, you will not miss it.
I'm not afraid of missing it, I'm not afraid of missing it, I'm just asking, but thank
And
you.
I'll give you a driving test, because there's something wrong if you miss the signs that we have out there. And the police with the flashing lights.
and we'll have.
Well, I've watched a lot of people blow past flashing lights.
all right, so,
The school's going to have to roll it out.
Chief, you're
Today, we
going
had a power outage, and the school was already sending emails out and letter blasts. So there's
Okay.
no way that that's going to happen and occur without the school following their channel. But,
okay,
What caused that power outage? The school bus driver on DeVoe?
yes,
She smashed into a pole?
she got it good, right in half.
okay, if you're going to speak, you can come up to the mic. Thank you, Chief. It's,
Yeah, I'll come up to the mic. Richard Skellyman, Alpin Road. Just briefly, can the town and can the police encourage more kids to walk? I walk to Shonley School. I walk to Appleby School. I mean, there's a different world today. There's a lot of weirdos out there. People are worried about their kids, whatever, but can't kids walk? Can't they be encouraged to walk? We have an epidemic of fat kids, that's all.
We already tried that.
Yeah.
We had back to school every year. We walk back to school day.
Okay.
The parents drive their kids to the walk to school point and then walk to school from there. So that's a culture change.
Yeah.
I'm a wonderful, great man at times, but I can't help you with that. That's behind my pay.
Maybe, somehow the borough can say.
Sorry.
so, Chief, you'll be rolling out, you'll make an executive decision in your department as to when is the best time to roll this out, whether it's going to be spring break or summer.
Friday, we'll do it.
Okay, all
I'll
right.
make sure that the superintendent knows we'll get it out there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jackie, for that question, too.
Make the motion to close the hearing?
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
Now we need to adopt.
Move that the ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and be published according to law.
Second?
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes. And thank you to the police department for that. It really has been an eternal issue, as Jackie highlighted. So hopefully this will make a big change, a positive change in that area.
Okay, we have resolutions on the consent agenda. Council President and council members, I'd like to have a motion to accept the resolutions under the consent agenda 2018-38 through 2018-45.
Make a motion, we move the resolutions 2018-38 through 45.
Second it.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
We have a proclamation.
So this proclamation is National Wear Red Month for Women's Heart Health. And I'll read it because this is something near and dear to me as a nurse. Whereas diseases of the heart are the nation's leading cause of death, and stroke is the fourth leading cause of death, whereas cardiovascular disease claims the lives of nearly 420,000 American women each year, approximately 1 death per minute, whereas nearly as many women die of heart disease, stroke, and all other cardiovascular disease than the next 4 leading causes of death combined, including all cancers. Whereas February is designated as American Heart Month, and February 2nd, 2018 will mark the 15th anniversary celebration of National Wear Red Day for Women. Whereas Go Red for Women is the American Heart Association's national movement and call to increase awareness about heart disease, the leading cause of death for women, and to inspire women to take charge of their heart health. Whereas making the right choices related to proper nutrition, physical activity, and other healthy lifestyle choices are essential to living a heart-healthy life. And whereas by choosing to improve heart and stroke health, the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women asks that across America, women go red and help save lives from heart disease and stroke. Now, therefore, I, Ed Seeley, Mayor of the Borough of Spotswood, on behalf of the entire governing body, in recognition of the importance of the ongoing fight against heart disease and stroke, do hereby proclaim February to be American Heart Month in Spotswood, New Jersey. We particularly urge all citizens to show their support for women and the fight against heart disease. By increasing awareness, speaking up about heart disease, and empowering women to reduce their risk for cardiovascular disease, we can save thousands of lives each year. Dated February 5th, 2018. Reports from council, liaisons?
Yeah, okay. All right, over there. Tomorrow night, the Board of Education meeting at the Appleby School, 7 o'clock, and also the 20th at Appleby School. The 20th, 7 o'clock at Appleby School, there's a meeting there. The 15th, anybody's interested, in February, library's got a meeting there at 7 o'clock. Now, can I get to that marijuana?
Not yet.
Okay.
That's going to come a little bit later.
So, okay, all right. Just want to get that. All right. Just what I said is it. That's what I got. Okay, right now. Thank you.
I have nothing.
Ted?
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
Jose?
Well, you're going to take care of it, so I'm not right now.
A couple of items. We're going to have an open house at our EMS building, new and revised, restored, on Saturday, February 10th. Director Dave Nichols is here, and his staff will be there. You can meet and greet your local EMS providers. On Saturday, February 10th, from 2 to 4, there will be refreshments, and it's a nice event to kind of say thank you to the community for all of the support, for maintaining our own EMS, and get a close look at the equipment and the personnel that are there for us every single day of the year. The other event coming up is the Comedy Night, featuring comedians Jeff Norris and Renee DeLorenzo on Saturday, February 17th at the Spotswood Firehouse from 7 to 11 p.m. Pete, I want to buy a ticket from you before you leave tonight. I'm going to buy a couple tickets. It includes hot cold buffet, beer, wine, and soda for $50 per person. The other event is the Spotswood Education Foundation. We're sponsoring a casino night on March 3rd. We rented the Halmetta Community Hall for that event. That again is $50 per person, with a dinner and beer and wine included. So we hope you all come out to these events that support our local organizations. The other thing is we have a CDBG, Community Development Block Grant meeting coming up with this week, Wednesday morning, where we look at the federal funds that come in each year to Spotswood and decide where they're going to go and see how our progress is in spending them down. These are funds from the federal government. And within our budget sessions will be coming up towards the end of the month. But in advance of that, we had some discussion at the last meeting about the fire truck acquisition. We're going to have a meeting with the fire department leadership, and John Malillo and myself will be attending to just get more background of that in advance of the budget meetings. And that's it for me. Ed?
Two things. One small item. As your council is aware, I believe I spoke to you, I sat down with Mayor Cohen of East Brunswick, and he gave them some insight on our traffic issues of Old Stage Road and Unleaded Boulevard. And he's agreed to have signs put up with weight limits on both, try and help alleviate the truck traffic that is coming down Old Stage Road and waking everybody up. Shot, and when the trucks hit it, it rattles out windows in their houses.
Yeah.
So I was doing a follow-up with him this week. And the most important thing is on February 21st, at our next meeting, we will be swearing in all of the officers of the fire department and the new firemen. Twofold. One, it's never been done. In a town meeting, I have no idea why not. These people represent our borough, and they're out there giving up their lives and time for us. I think it's only fitting we do it. And second would be because I really didn't do such a great job at their dinner, and I'm trying to make up for that. I'm ill prepared. But you know, a man's got to live up to his own faults, right? Anyways, I hope this makes up for it, and I hope we continue to do it in the future, because I really think we should do it. We swear in police officers in here. I mean,
Yep.
we should swear in all of our emergency service people for meetings, so the public can get to see who they are as well.
Terrific idea.
Okay, and I already spoke about EMS. I'll be there.
Yep. Me too.
I'll be attending a meeting on February 20th in State in Trenton on marijuana. You know, all the pros and cons. There'll be DEA agents there, no police officers, of course, there'll be the other side of the coin as well, the advocates for it. The chief is going to attend it with me, and we'll get a little educated.
Good.
That's all I got.
Very good. Thank you, Ed. We had a request from John to put marijuana on the agenda for a discussion. And so, John, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I was going to go at it now. Let's say this way. I'll get right to the punch. I don't want no marijuana in this town sold. No dispensary stores, none of that stuff. I don't want it, sold in this town. Now, the legislature, this is this recreation marijuana thing. That's what it amounts to. I don't want this. Yeah, okay. Take the marijuana, you're going to play a good game. No way. What makes it secure that it's going to be okay? You're going to play a good game. No pain? Oh, really? The bottom line is no marijuana in this town. That's out. I don't want it sold here. Nothing. I don't care where they go. The state legislature right now, we'll see what goes on with them. They got the other thing, the medical, but not this recreation marijuana. No, I don't want marijuana in this town sold. I don't want the dispensary stores, if I'm saying it right, I don't want them here. No. It's narcotic, it's dope, That's what it amounts to. There's a lot to say about that there, and I'm hoping there's people home with kids, and kids go to school and so forth, drive cars and this and that. They give you a card, they give you this, they give you that. Okay, that makes a U-turn. That don't mean nothing. No marijuana in this town. That's it. Now, if I say it loud enough, I'll get the mic and I'll put it up in my mouth.
Oh.
No marijuana in this town. That's the end of it. So you all better get together and advertise that. No marijuana in this town. That's it. Right out.
Thank you, John.
Right out. Forget about this stuff going on today. We're living in a nut world. Crazy. The state is going the other way. I don't want a senator here, and I don't want to say anything any other way. You know what I mean? But the thing is, what's right is right, and wrong is always wrong. You know what? I'm going to say something now. There's a red light. I got the First Amendment. I can go through that light. But why can't I go through the light? But there's a law. You're not supposed to go through the light. Come on.
All right, John. Anything?
I want to start swinging.
Point.
What?
You wanted to make that point from what?
No
10?
marijuana in this town. That's the
Okay.
story.
Okay,
Mrs. Council President,
yes,
I got one more second.
sure.
I forgot something. I attended a neighborhood watch meeting as well. I've attended a few of them, 2 or 3 so far. I have to tell you, if you've got time, you really have to attend these meetings. It was very informative. It was on opioid use and what's going on in our town. The heroin problem, it is a very serious problem. These guys sitting here in the back row, they know how serious it is because they're the lucky guys who get to pump something into someone's chest to try and keep them alive. If you do have time, make time. Make time to go to these things because they've got a lot of good, useful information there. And you'll never know it because some of the cleanest, smartest, finest looking people you'll meet are probably doing heroin. You just don't know it. It's better to be informed than be too late.
Good point, Ed. Thank you. Any other council people want to make say anything
Follow
more?
up on what John was saying. Dawn, you said it was Point Pleasant that has the ordinance in place already?
There's a couple towns that have done it. I believe Old Bridge might have also.
you
Point
see-
Pleasant Beach
Can you
did
get
it.
us a copy of those ordinances?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is something near and dear to my heart, too. We've gone out in 2017. I educated 3,250 people about opioid epidemic, along with a local chief of police, Chief Zabrowski, and a friend of mine who lost her daughter to opioid overdose 3 years ago. So we've gone out to schools, chiefs of police meetings, school superintendents meetings, and just to get that message across, and actually I pulled this from the Sunday Star Ledger. It was an article, former top New Jersey cop and lawmaker insists states should just say no to marijuana, legalize marijuana. So there's a lot of information out there now, and I want to commend Ed for going to that presentation on February 20th, that state meeting that's going to present different topics about marijuana. And actually, I got reached out to today by Chief Zabrowski looking for some medical studies that have been done in states that have legalized marijuana to see what the outcomes have been on the population with the youth and with older adults. So there's stuff going on all over the country with the legislation that's been passed already in different states. And I hope we can learn from what's been done in those states and how they are reacting, and choose the best course here for New Jersey. But I know that some towns have already leapt on the bandwagon for revenues and are advocating that those dispensaries, John, come to their town because there is a tax advantage and revenue stream that can come in
I
through
want
that.
something to say. Can I say something else?
Oh, of course you can, John.
I want to interrupt you. It's like it's all about money. See? It's all about money. Get the tax money. 7%, come on, don't worry about it. It's all about money. I don't care who you are, Democrat, Republican, green, or blue and green. Well, come on. You can't do this. The medical, yeah, but not this other thing. No. That's going to make a U-turn for the worse. And it's all about money. That old green dollar bill adds up and beyond. It's all about money. Greed. Forget about it.
I would just I don't want to live in a state that sells marijuana for recreational use. I wouldn't want to raise, luckily my kids are grown, I wouldn't want to raise children in a state that has legal marijuana. Unfortunately, we're not an island, and we might not sell it here. We're still going to have to deal with it. So, but personally, I don't want to live in a state that does that.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Nope.
Okay.
Money.
We're going to open to the public.
Motion to open to the public?
Come on up.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bob Raps, Gasconabry. I think he's right. I agree with him. And I think you people should think about putting an ordinance to stop it, like Old Bridge and other ones. Check with Old Bridge or these other towns and do something before it's too late.
Yeah, because that would send a message to the legislature, right?
Well, the legislature already said they're giving the towns an opt-out. If they do pass it, any town that doesn't want it can simply pass an ordinance to stop it. They're not going to make you sell it, or they're not going to force it down your neck. If you opt in, you get to share in some of the tax that they charge. If you opt out, you opt out.
You believe everything they tell you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to comment on anything? Oh,
Does
you just say your name and...
Yeah, Cheryl Bass from 289 Main Street. Does the mayor want to have the town email you before you go to this meeting, so that you know that the town is behind you in this, besides the council?
I'm going to, it's merely informative.
Oh, this is an informative.
education.
It's education.
Oh, this is educational, okay.
It's education to agree, yes.
Yeah. Is there some way to increase the punishment from the law with marijuana, with these drugs, with all of the Chinese called it their century of humiliation with the opium? With all of the law just gives a slap on the wrist, and then these people go out and they look to sell these drugs. The law is not strong. The law does not punish. The law has to be made stronger.
Cheryl?
Yeah.
So I guess you're trying to defer to our lawyer.
Lawyer.
Who's also a senator.
Yeah.
But I think laws can always be enacted. I mean, we've done a couple tonight. So it just depends on that. But I would advise anyone who has strong feelings about this to send a letter or to contact their state legislator to tell them your views on the subject.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
John Brzezinski, 251 Old Stage Road. A couple months ago, I had a meeting with Mayor Sealy about the traffic and the trucks on Old Stage Road. I guess you got something done, I see. Just recently, I saw the signs. They did come up at the end of Old Stage Road and Helmetta Boulevard. Whether they're going to be enforced, we have the police department in hand now. I've lived there since 1989. Police presence on Old Stage Road has, I feel, greatly been reduced for being trafficking. Maybe that could be picked up, but that's a joint effort between, East Brunswick and Spotswood, because the traffic starts, unfortunately, in East Brunswick.
Mm-hmm.
Once the trucks are on there, it's too late. But I mean,
That's not too late to take a...
I mean, they're just first of all, the traffic itself is horrible, and the speed. I mean, like I said, I cut my own grass. I won't even turn my own back to the oncoming traffic anymore. I won't ride my bicycle with traffic anymore. It's that bad on that road. So maybe we have to start picking up maybe enforcement, especially in the trucks. Tractor trailers, gas tanker trucks, they don't belong on that road. So thank you for getting some stuff, but maybe a little bit more. Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Motion to close?
Make a motion to close the public.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have a closed session this evening. I don't believe any action will be taken this evening. Whereas Section 8 of the Open Publics Meeting Act, Chapter 231 PL 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it resolved by the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. 1, the public shall be excluded from discussion of any action upon the hereinafter specified subject matters. 2, the general nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follows: potential litigation. 3, it is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter shall be made public when confidentiality is no longer required. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
Make a motion to pass the resolution?
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes. Okay, we're going to go into closed session. Action will not be taken.
Bridgewater?
Okay, we're back into open.
I make a motion, we close the closed, reopen the open.
Second?
Mayor in Newark.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was a very forceful hammer blow there.
Hey, I'm learning. I got my mentors.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Philip Mittler from Highland.
Yeah, yeah.
Who seconded?
Ted.
You didn't just adjourn, you closed the public and adjourned.
I closed the closed, reopened the open, and then we adjourn.
No, she asked me who's going to.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.